So, what is speaking 3? It's an interview, and you are the interviewee, which means you're going to answer questions. The idea here is that you are participating in the program Teenagers Around the World, and the interviewer or the host is going to ask you questions about some particular topic. You need to answer each question fully and to the point, with at least 2 full sentences. This is everything you're going to see on the screen of your computer. Task 3. You're going to give an interview. You have to answer 5 questions. Give full answers to the questions, 2 or 3 sentences. Remember that you have 40 seconds to answer each question. Guys, you are not going to see the questions on the screen, and this is very important. You will only hear the questions, and you will only hear them once. So listen very carefully. After you hear the question, your 40 seconds will start, and you need to give your answer in those 40 seconds. Your answer has to be at least 2 full sentences. What is a full sentence? It is a sentence with a subject and a predicate. So, yes is not a sentence. Yes, I like rainy weather is a full sentence. Just add 1 more and your answer will be ready. Guys, the topic of the questions can be anything, but it will be something we have studied with you. So, don't worry. The questions can be about your school life, your family or your friends, your traveling experience, the environment, or anything else that is listed in our codificator. We have studied some of the topics with you already, and we will study all the others in our program this year. Let's list our strategies and tips for this task. Number 1, listen to the questions carefully. Again, guys, you will not see them on the screen, so you have to hear the question, understand it, and remember it for the next 40 seconds. In these 40 seconds, you need to think about the question and answer it. Number 2, answer with at least 2 full sentences. Separate them with intonation. You need to fall at the end of the first sentence for the expert to understand that this is the end of the first sentence. What comes next is your second sentence. Guys, try not to start a new sentence with and, but, or because. First of all, you know better words, right? For and, we can use additionally, moreover. Another thing is, for but, we can use however, or on the contrary, right? Second of all, the expert might not understand this is a new sentence if you start it with and or but. If the question is simple or too general, and you think you can answer it with only 1 sentence, give some additional information in the second one. For example, let's imagine your question is, when did you decide on your future field of work? A bad answer is, I decided on my future field of work when I was 7 years old. This answer contains only 1 sentence. It is not enough. Your task explicitly says 2 or 3 sentences. Now let's have a look at a good answer. I decided on my future field of work when I was 7 years old. I met my first teacher and instantly knew I wanted to do the same as an adult. We just added 1 more sentence that gives some details, and now we have 2 full sentences and we'll get our point. Number 3, answer in the tense of the question, fully and to the point. Guys, be careful about the tense in your answer. If the question is in past simple, you have to answer in past simple. If the question is in present simple, do not change that. Your answer has to be in present simple too. What if your question is in present perfect? Well, if it asks about your life experiences, you have to answer it in present perfect. But if you give some details about a past situation, then you need to switch to past simple. One more thing to be careful about is questions that have 2 parts. For example, what is your favorite season and why? If you say, my favorite season is summer, you will not get a point. The full answer here could sound like this. My favorite season is summer. I like it because I have holidays in summer and I can do anything I want to. Be careful with questions that have plural nouns in them. For example, what are your favorite school subjects? If you have subjects in the question, it means that they want you to mention at least 2 subjects. So the answer, my favorite subject is English, will not be accepted. The answer, my favorite subjects are history and English. I have been studying them my whole life and I really like them. This one will be accepted. You mentioned 2 subjects and you said 2 sentences. Guys, the last strategy is about mistakes. There are different types of mistakes you could make to lose points. First of all, pronunciation mistakes. Just like in all other speaking tasks, if you change the meaning of the word by pronouncing it differently, you will not get a point. For example, if you say, I live in Moscow, instead of I live in Moscow, you will not get a point. Because by changing the sounds, you changed the part of speech and made a mistake. Second of all, intonation mistakes. You have to fall at the end of your sentences. You cannot make long pauses between your words or phrases. You will lose points because of that. You have to answer the question with at least 2 full sentences that are easy to listen to and understand. If you make long pauses between words or between your sentences, the expert will write down that you make unnatural pauses in your speech and your answer will not be accepted. Another important thing to mention here is that if you answer the question quickly, well, I don't know, it's an easy question, why not? You have some time left. I don't know, like there's 20 seconds on the timer. What do you do? Nothing. Don't try to fill that pause with unnecessary phrases. You'll just multiply your chance of making a mistake. It's okay if you just sit silently there and wait for the next question. Don't try to talk for the whole 40 seconds, okay? And last but not least, simple grammar mistakes. There's a whole list of things mentioned in our assessment criteria. If you make at least one of those mistakes, you will not get a point for your answer, even if it was full and to the point and with 2 sentences. So we do need to work not only on our fluency, but on our accuracy as well. Let's have a quick look at that list. You will also find it in your script, of course. So guys, one of the examples of simple grammar mistakes is comparative and superlative degrees of adjectives. If you form a comparative or superlative degree of an adjective incorrectly, you will lose points because that is a simple grammar mistake, right? So please don't say more, better, or the most easiest, yeah? Please revise that topic if you think that these 2 sound okay. Yeah, they don't. They are mistakes. Okay, next, articles. When they change the meaning of the sentence, articles do play a huge role, right, in the English language. So we do need to study them thoroughly, right, and think about them when you're speaking, because articles are not really natural for, well, Russian language native speakers, so we do need to pay special attention to them. Okay, next, countable and uncountable nouns. Well, yes, sometimes even very good students do make mistakes with countable and uncountable nouns, yeah, using much or many with them. Please just think about that when you're speaking, right? Is my noun countable or uncountable? That's really important. Future actions, right? Where do we use will, where do we use going to, and where present continuous? We haven't studied that topic with you yet, but it's coming up very soon. Modal verbs. Guys, can, could, have to, should, you do need to understand how to use them, right? That we cannot use an infinitive with to after them, right? Just don't make mistakes with modal verbs, right? Because they will lead to loss of points. Okay, passive voice, but, and, well, I guess that's generous, right? Passive voice is important for us here only in present and past simple. Yeah, so you have to know how to form passive voice correctly in present simple and in past simple. Well, you actually have to know lots of different things, right? But if you make a mistake in speaking 3 with passive voice in present simple and past simple, you will lose a point. Okay, present and past continuous, present and past simple, right? Basically all the simple tenses that we study like at the beginning of every course, right? At the beginning of your school education, right? There are a lot of mistakes seen at the exam, right, with these tenses, but we are going to practice a lot, right? And we're not going to make mistakes with them, okay? Next one. Possessive case of nouns. Well, that's actually quite hard to make a speaking mistake with them, but, you know, again, a simple mistake, don't make it. Prepositions of time, on, in, and at. Again, we are going to study that topic, but it's pretty basic, and I'm quite sure you already know how to use them, right? Okay, pronouns. Well, yeah, use your pronouns correctly, right? There plus be, there is, there are, there was, there were, right? We have to use them correctly to gain maximum points for speaking 3. Another important thing, how we use verbs with other verbs, right? Do we need ing after some verbs, or do we need an infinitive? That's also a simple mistake, and you have to remember all those verbs and collocations. Next, word order in statements and in questions, right? Guys, I always say that word order in English is like the base of everything. So please don't make any mistakes in word order, okay? All right, let's do it one more time. What do we do in speaking 3? We listen to the question very carefully. We answer it with 2 full sentences, not forgetting about any part of the question. Then we sit and wait for the next question if we have any time left. Repeat 5 times and get 5 points and feel good about yourself. Please answer a couple of questions about the task, and after that we will look at different example tasks, popular mistakes that students make, and also good answers to understand what the experts want from you and how you can answer the questions perfectly.